I love left-wing hypocrites. I love them more than anything. They bring me the most joy, especially when they're so just insufferably and intractably partisan that it doesn't matter to them that they are being so obviously hypocritical. Like, it just doesn't make an impact on the armor of pretended outrage in service of their personal crusade. And one of the best ones of this is this Brooklyn Dad Defiant account on Twitter. You've probably seen. He's got like nearly 1 million followers. Very, very famous. And I love this so much because it spawned a Twitter account called Defiant L's. Now, whoever is running this is doing a great job. And it's not just this chap, but he's the reason for it. And yeah, so it's just talking about, well, look, they're all a bunch of hyper-partisan hypocrites. Now, that's not to say that on the right-wing and Republican sides, there are no hyper-partisan hypocrites. There, of course, are. And you can doubtless find many accounts dedicated to that as well. Because as the winds of politics flow and they blow left and right, and who knows what side of an issue you'll be on next week, because who knows what will be the politically orthodox point for your particular faction. Now, you can avoid this by being morally consistent on things, which I try to do, and I don't think I'm terrible at it. You know, I mean, might be, I don't know.
I mean, if you're comparing yourself to Brooklyn Dad.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm in a position to judge this person without being a hypocrite myself. But you know, these things, and the thing is, I don't want to say that, look, it's not that they can't have a change of heart either. You know, if you want to sit there and go, well, look, actually, I've changed my position on X issue, and so I disagree with that, fine. But that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening at all. And so we'll just take some examples just to see the raw, unvarnished hypocrisy of this person and many other people like him. So you've got this, the great one, the eternal one, is the one that's pinned to the account. Kamala Harris isn't the only person who's leery of the vaccine Trump is trying to push to rush to the market too soon. I won't be taking that S until long after people stop dying from taking a faulty vaccine. Are we allowed to say that? That seems like anti-vax propaganda to me. But of course, it's only anti-vax propaganda because Trump was in favor of the vaccine and still is in favor of the vaccine, incidentally. And you can see that was in September 2020. And then a year later, if right-wing TV networks like Fox, OAN, and Newsmax would stop politicizing the vaccine and start running pieces like these people regret not getting vaccinated, it might make a huge difference. Get vaccinated, damn it. Why? Because Trump's not president anymore.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Same with many individual on the left, up to the President of the United States, his vice, and the rest of them, who were all like, no, Trump vaccine, therefore bad, but now it's theirs, it's good.
Yeah, in fact, let's go to the next one.
Be consistent.
Because, again, just be consistent. Because otherwise you get entire Twitter accounts, like 80,000 people, laughing at you for being such an abject hypocrite. Again, what I love about these, they're actually exactly a year apart. Right? On the 16th of September 2020, he says, raise your hands if you would never trust a vaccine pushed by a bleach injection snake oil selling conman. A year later, they say when I'm doing my research, they're not sitting there looking through microscopes and reading scientific studies. They're looking at Facebook, astounding stupidity. Yeah, well, you'd only get it because it's not Trump. It's so obvious. It's so embarrassingly obvious. Let's go to the next one. Any questions about the election? Oh, no, this is another vaccine one. Sorry, I forgot another vaccine. But yeah, again, exactly a year apart. Exactly a year apart. On that very same day, as if this was all he was thinking about that day. We don't have that herd mentality of which you spoke, so now we won't be taking any vaccine injections that are promoted by Mr. Bleach, thanks anyway. These tweets go miles on Twitter as well. I've been fully vaxxed since June, and I'm still masking up when I'm in crowded places unable to distance. Oh, how heroic. You've taken the vaccine and you're still masking up. Oh, why? Because it's not Trump. That's it. It's all it is. It's just embarrassing. But anyway, let's go to the next one. How'd you feel about the election? Well, in 2017, it was fraud. All fraud.
The Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi position.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fraud. And it's just Democrat Party line. Democrat Party line on every issue. You know, demand a revote, void the election. And yet, you know, 4 years later, all of these election audits, like the one orchestrated by the Arizona GOP, are slowly eroding the faith Americans have in our elections and our democracy. That is the point.
Okay, so what were you doing in 2012?
Exactly.
Sorry, 2017.
You are as much part of the problem as anything else by your own admission. I can't stand it.
I know, it's literally like an NPC update.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's a meme, but come on, like a robot could be running this account. I've never seen this person in a stage or given a speech.
Well, I know it's not a robot, and I'll explain how later. But you are exactly right. This could be machine-generated tweets. Just, whatever the Democrats say that day, tweet it. But, okay, so you're undermining democracy, you're an anti-vaxxer. What else? Still not my president. I like that. That was one of my favorites. Go to the next one. Trigger a Trumper in 4 words. Hashtag still not my president.
So that doesn't trigger a Trumper.
No one cares about that. But of course, 2 years, 3 years later, you can call him Sleepy Joe all you want. It doesn't change the fact that Biden is still your president. Okay. Next one. Do you like the filibuster? Do you know what a filibuster is?
It's when you talk and talk and talk to stop a bill passing.
Yeah. Sounds great. I'd get up.
It's a good rule. I think we have it in the UK, but
I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
I would have so much just nonsense to try out. But anyway.
You know how you've mentioned before there was that event with Gaddafi where he decided to invite a bunch of Italian supermodels and they thought they were going to get something amazing. You just sat them all down and told them why they're bad.
Hour-long lecture on the Quran.
Yeah. Just do that every day.
I would. Just readings from the book of dadism. But I love this, so he's like, oh, the filibuster is bad, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, we need to blast the filibuster once and for all, sorry, we need to filibuster. And then, of course, we need to get rid of the filibuster because, of course, the GOP can't be trusted. Sure, why not? Just whatever it is at any given point in time. Doesn't matter how bad it makes you look. Doesn't matter how against the process of democracy it makes you look. If it serves your interests at that particular moment, just tweet it out. Don't worry about it. No one's going to be bothered. All of your Democrat partisans who are like, and again, they're in this war mentality on Twitter, where they're like, they feel like they're constantly at the edge of a wave, the crest of this wave. They've got to come, we've got to do that, we've got to do that. And so it doesn't matter what's happened before. It doesn't matter just how hypocritical they're being. It doesn't matter the kind of people they're showing themselves to be. Just constantly, we might have a small victory, immediate, tactical battlefield victory on this. Quick, do that. It doesn't matter if you're, undermining faith in democracy or destroying the republic or making people doubt vaccinations or something like this.
Or just wasting your life.
Wasting your life doesn't matter.
I mean, I hope they're getting paid. Because if they ain't, then
so I mean, like this, I think this next one is actually my favourite. Right, the airstrike that killed Iran's General Soleimani at Baghdad airport is a big deal. Retaliation is certain. American lives are at risk. The guy who bragged about being against the Iraq War is wagging the dog to dodge his own non-stop scandals. Sure, okay, so it's an attack on Trump. Got it right. So, but bad to kill an Iranian general who's orchestrating terror attacks across the Middle East.
If you kill your enemies, you win.
Yeah, exactly.
So they win.
Yeah. You kill your enemies, they win. That's terrible, right? But then again, a year later, took 24 hours for President Biden to take out the ISIS-K planner in yesterday's terrorist attack. That didn't happen. What are you talking about? Airstriking an actual enemy asset, bad. Airstriking a family and killing a bunch of children, just fine because they were ISIS.
F around and they're finding out.
Yeah, those kids really effed around. I mean, but they found out because Biden can do nothing wrong. It's our glorious shiny side versus their evil, putrid side. Anyway, moving on. Fake news. Do we need to know about fake news? Of course we do. The Trump admin has been rolling one disaster after another, but the disaster in Syria comes at a steep price. Kurds are dying, and it's all because Trump needs distractions from his impeachment. This is another terrorist attack one. I forgot. I kept adding ones. But
there's too many.
Yeah, no, well, exactly, right? And then if using terrorist attacks on Americans and Afghan citizens to blame President Biden, stop it. It's disgusting. Whose side are you on anyway? It's just about the teams. It's literally, red team bad, blue team good. Cheering from the stands.
But it's also, you'll notice, none of these are on the lines of any philosophical ideas or values or anything. It is literally just empty team red, empty team blue.
Lowest of low IQ takes.
You could jump between either of them at any point and it would matter naught.
Mm-hmm. And yet, literally, hundreds of thousands of people are sharing these tweets. It's like, okay, what does that say about the Twitter echo chamber? That is becoming overwhelmingly left-leaning because all the Republicans are getting banned on it.
What does that say?
They're radicalizing them. Yeah, but the NPCs are radicalizing themselves into this, us or them, all or nothing, anything goes mentality. No amount of moral or philosophical consistency is required. And, I'll politicize an airstrike one day and then condemn politicizing airstrikes another day because the party told me to. It's very concerning that people are habituating themselves into this. But anyway, moving on to the fake news one. Can't wait for the day idiotic words fake news are buried in the dustbin of history. And then, of course, oh my God, don't buy the BS narrative the MSN is selling. It's all fake news. It's all fake news. Okay. All right. Of course it is. It's an embarrassment that you exist like this. Like, who looks at that? And like, if that were my dad, I'd be like, oh, I'm so proud of what my dad does. Being a monumental hypocrite, undermining the Republic. You know, what a great guy. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Cops shooting people. The Kenosha cop who shot Jacob Blake in the back 7 times will not be charged for anything. This is effed up. But shooting Ashley Babbitt, that terrorist, as he calls her, from harming any members of Congress, that's just, he did his job. Just did his job.
He didn't warn her. She didn't have a knife. Okay. There were cops behind her that could have been shot. There weren't in Jacob Blake's case.
Do you remember Jacob Blake's case?
The guy who literally went in his car and had a knife.
To get a knife, yeah.
Yeah.
Who had assaulted a woman and was going to the car because she called the cops or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is an innocent hero. Apparently voted Democrat, I guess. You know, I mean, you know, Ashley Babbitt certainly voted Republican.
Even
so
at death, he still serves.
Yeah. Well, that's literally Biden's entire base, isn't it? But wow, that's a really good meme. But yeah, exactly. You know, Ashley Babbitt wasn't armed, hurt nobody, did nothing other than walking into the Capitol building, shot, and that guy. Oh, that cop's a hero, and he wasn't a police officer; he was a special service agent or something. But yeah, so it doesn't even matter. And of course, you know, black women shouldn't apologize for being angry. Never apologize. They have more right to be angry than anyone else, unless it's Nicki Minaj, and then she can shut her mouth for the good of diversity. Can't stand it. Anyway, so who is this guy? Who would bravely stand up to be an irredeemable partisan shill on Twitter and spend their life wasting their time and being a public embarrassment? Well, this is a chap called Majid Padelin, and he is the blogger behind Brooklyn Dad Defiant. And of course, he was called out because, hang on a second, you got paid 60 grand to be a Democrat partisan on Twitter? And he was like, what? What?
I'm not a paid schmuck.
What? Actually, he said, yeah, I am a paid schmuck.
Clearing his mouth, $100 bill.
No. So he, in real life, he's an art director, teacher, designer, and writer of a book against Trump, obviously. And
Does he do nothing else with his life?
art director, teacher, and designer, and then all day on Twitter being paid as a Democrat shill. Just literally, they've got paid shills on Twitter.
Dude, just go fishing or something with fish on Trump.
But how irresponsible. This is the sort of person the Democrats will pay to shill for them. It's like, look, just anything good us, anything bad them. Go. And he's like, great, 60 grand in the bank. Right? So he, and the thing is, you can tell that he's being paid by, like, you know, the Democrat deep state, you know, the party mechanisms, because he was also against Bernie and things like this. And, you know, President Biden is ready to kick ass and things like this. I know.
What a thing to say.
I'm just ready to fall down some stairs. Sorry, fall up some stairs. But anyway, so rumors surfaced when a user shared a screenshot from the Federal Election Commission data that showed he'd been paid nearly $60,000 by a political action committee called Really American. And obviously someone's like, well, him being a paid Demop is totally unsurprising. It really does pay to have political opinions in America. And he was like, yeah, that's right. I was like, okay. I mean, he just came out and was like, yeah, it's in my bio.
What?
He's actually got it in his bio that he's a senior advisor to reallyamerican.com, this pack. And so Open Secrets are correct, apparently, when they say that he got $57,000 in 13 payments.
No, that's obvious BS. Like, someone can have senior advisor. That doesn't mean I know you're getting paid 60 grand.
Well, exactly. You know.
Dum-dum. But then why am I expecting anything from someone like this?
Or from the Democrat Party. Yeah. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm sure the Republican Party are just as guilty. But, like,
are they? I mean, I'm sorry, but, like, this is such moral vacuum levels of nothing.
Yes.
Or it's like, this man might as well not exist.
Well, no, he definitely exists for a purpose, right? He exists to radicalize the Democrat base against the Republicans, to treat the Republicans like a perennial enemy.
I mean, in the sense that you might as well have just written a bot, lads.
Well, yeah,
it would
absolutely.
be cheaper.
Yes, and Majid probably is like thinking Ixnay on the botsnay, you know, like shut up, man, I'm making out. Yeah,
I'm sure there's some students who'd like some cash, and
yeah, exactly. Why this guy? Anyone could have done this. You know, it doesn't take any amount of intellect to do this or anything. But yeah, so apparently they've spent more than $1 million on paid shills.
Wait, what? So it's not just one?
No, it's not just one. But yeah, according to this independent report, and someone someone pointed out that, hang on a second, shouldn't that really mean that every tweet that they put out should have a sort of like paid advertisement disclaimer?
If they're British, they have to.
Yes, you are literally being paid by the political party to constantly shill and attack your opponents.
Yeah.
It's just gross. This is gross politics, and this guy is proud of it, and he gets paid for it. And he's just like, yeah, I'm a shill.
I mean, it's kind of insulting because, like, there are loads of, let's say, beauty vloggers who, for all of the faults of that community, let's say.
Well, what do they do wrong?
No, but they do actually have, there's a lot of stupid infighting with dumb
Oh, well,
nonsense.
of course there is.
Anyway, so they like to put, well, they have to in Britain, and most of them do, put, like, paid ads. This is an ad, guys. I got paid to do this.
Yeah.
There's some, this guy has less moral responsibility for his own work than beauty vloggers who have no personality whatsoever.
And he's part of the radicalizing process that's tearing the United States apart.
Yeah.
All evil belongs on the Republicans, guys. It's mad, isn't it? So yeah, this is the Democrat PAC that's paying these people, but it's not just him. He's just the
I do like that quote there. Sorry, could you scroll back up? Just that one there. Now we know how much money it takes for resistance grifters like Brooklyn Dad to do sexual assault and rape apologia for Democrats. $60K. Liberals sell their soul so cheaply.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I'd need way more than 60K to be this morally bankrupt. Just saying. But it's obviously not him. And the account, you should go follow Defiant L's, because it's not just him that they cover, obviously. It's every verified check mark you can imagine on Twitter. And so let's just go for a couple more. If we go to the next one. Trump and conspirators trying to push potentially dangerous vaccines on Americans against the advice of doctors and scientists. Please get vaccinated. I got my second Fauci ouchie by another awesome pro nurse. Didn't feel it. Side effects were slightly sleepy for 18 hours.
I must say, there is something to the grammar of these things that it gives me like you're definitely being paid then.
Yeah.
The emojis.
Yeah.
The what are they called? Asterisks to try and bold stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
writing like they're writing to children.
Exclamation points.
Yeah.
Where it's like a boomer has written this, or a machine.
Again, it's like a machine's written it, and it sounds to me like they've been sent scripts. That's what it sounds like to me.
Are there any spelling mistakes?
Not that I've seen.
Well, that'd be a good investigation. Like, go back and just see, like, is there any spelling mistakes? And if there's none,
Not even spelling mistakes. Like, is any like my phone constantly capitalizes random words for some reason, and it's just really insufferable. You know,
are they literally just copy pasting?
yeah.
Someone.
Well, that's the thing, and it just like that sounds like it's been given part of a script, and he sounds like he's writing for children, which he's obviously not. And of course, children shouldn't be using Twitter anyway. So anyway, moving on to the next one. They really are very anti-vax. You know, not one legitimate doctor is endorsing the effing vaccine coming out in a month. F Trump, he only cares about himself. That's right. That's what it was. Trump's like, hey, we're going to get a vaccine going. It's like, yeah, that's because you're selfish. That's because you're Alex Jones. Like, you're going to kill everyone with this vaccine. That's what this vaccine is about, isn't it, Trump? And, oh, no, Biden's in charge. Oh, take the vaccine. Quick, I'll do it every day.
It's also very convenient that the rules about banning people for saying such things, all after they did these things. Then all of a sudden, new president, new rules.
Really makes you think, doesn't it? Anyway, let's go on. Again, it's really anti-vax, actually. It's really impressive how anti-vax they were. If we go to the next
With
one.
the grammar, like.
I know. I have one with Trump, Navarro, and all the yahoos who want to rush COVID vaccine. Thalidomide. Google it if you don't know what it is. Do you know what thalidomide is?
It's the medicine that was given to pregnant women that they
Yes.
kill a bunch of their babies.
No, it didn't kill them. It probably did kill some, but
I mean, the babies are killed.
yeah, no, I know. It didn't kill the babies. It made them deformed.
Oh.
So the women took it for morning sickness, and it made their babies hideously deformed. And yes, that was a real problem in the, I think, 70s and 80s, I think it was.
In fact, the verified check marks say this. Like, you couldn't get away with saying this
No,
on any platform.
No, but now Republicans refusing to get vaccinated are owning no ones but themselves. And what about those warnings about thalidomide? Like, it's been less than a year. We don't know what the long-term consequences will be, and you're still like, yeah, well, you're owning yourself.
That's her opinion, yeah.
Yeah, and if we can get to the final one, just the ultimate shill here, Robert Reich. Please, for the love of God, do not rush to an unsafe vaccine for political purposes. Imagine.
I remember
Imagine.
Mr. Empire over here.
Yeah. Every company in America should require all workers to be vaccinated, period. Oh, wow. There we go. So, yeah, that's just the raw and unvarnished partisanship of the Twitter hate machine, and I would just recommend getting off Twitter. But if you're on Twitter for your sins, go follow Defiant L's, seem like good boys.
If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, you can catch the full podcast at 1 p.m. every weekday UK time at lotuseaters.com. You can also sign up at lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site.
Yeah, that's how we keep this whole operation running. And recently we've put up loads of great stuff, such as this interview with legendary comedian Steve Hughes, one of my personal favourite comedians, so it was a real honour to be able to meet him. But one thing that I didn't expect, that he would be such a deep thinker, and this podcast is genuinely like a meeting of minds in a way. He was right on my wavelength on a bunch of things and helped me actually connect a bunch of dots, but I'm not going to carry on and spoil it. We also, of course, have lots of interesting articles that have been written, such as this one by Josh about the dumbest country on earth. And for for silver tier subscribers, we also include a link, so it's we have an audio reading of it from a chap called Jonathan, who has a very smooth voice that you will enjoy. And this is great because often I don't have time to read all of the articles we put up, because we've put up a lot of regular content. And so this saves me the hassle of having to read it myself. So I really actually am very appreciative of this feature on a personal level. But we also do the Contemplations and Epochs, which are just interesting podcasts about interesting things. These are regular weekly podcasts. So this one is one of our writers, Josh, he's got a master's degree in psychology, talking about theories of intelligence and how they matter. And of course, we've got the Epochs, where myself and Bo, or in this case it was Josh and Bo, talking about the life of Sir Francis Drake. So that's 2 solid hours talking about England's most notorious adventurer. But we've also got lots and lots of other ones. This is number 21, so there's a good back catalogue there. And finally, we have our book clubs, and this is the part that I'm most proud of. Recently, we've done Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell, and
Reflections on a Ravaged Century by Robert Conquest.
Yeah, Robert Conquest is fantastic. Just if you want Western chauvinist historian, he's your man.
Anti-socialism.
Yes, in all forms, it's fantastic. And like I said, that's what keeps the podcast running. So if you want to become a member, thank you very much, and we think there's some great stuff you'll enjoy.